if you like animes or you love Japanese culture, I think it's really good to get a teaching job because first, it's easy. Second, I think the work-life balance is really good.
They may not want to learn English. That's a difference. I think they may not want to like really learn English, but they all want to use English maybe as a tool to have fun.
Most of the schools were good. The kids are great, but occasionally you have problem students or something with mental issues or something. That's a little bit hard.
Konnichiwa, Sashi desu, and welcome back to my channel. Have you ever thought of coming to Japan and teaching English? Many people from all around the world come to Japan to teach English, and it's kind of seen as a gateway job into the country. Although it's helpful speaking Japanese before you get here, teaching English is one of the few jobs where you can just show up and you don't really need to know the language. I first came here many years ago to work at an Eikaiwa language school, and it was a perfect introduction to getting into the country. So today I'm interviewing a variety of English teachers to give you an idea what it's like to come to Japan and start out your first job here. Let's get into it.
Konnichiwa, Aileen です。フィリピンから来ました。今6年間で日本で住んでいます。よろしくお願いします。
So, first of all, why did you decide to teach English in Japan?
I was actually an English teacher back in the Philippines. My students were Japanese, Taiwanese, and all other different nationalities. So my students became my friends, and I came to Japan to travel for 2 weeks back in 2016. And at that time, I felt like, oh, I really love Japan and I want to travel more. So maybe the main reason was to actually travel and explore Japan more and to meet my Japanese friends as well. And so that's the reason why I decided to come to Japan and teach English.
Okay, and how did you originally get your first job teaching English here in Japan?
So I think I just searched on the internet like how to get English positions or how to teach English in Japan, and I found an agency in the Philippines which actually hires Philippine teachers, and they work with a dispatching company, like one of the biggest dispatching company here in Japan. And so I applied to them and then got accepted and then came to Japan. Yeah.
Interesting. So what do you think are the pros and cons of teaching English in Japan?
I think there's a lot of pros, especially if you really want to just explore and enjoy Japan, or if you like animes or you love Japanese culture. I think it's really good to get a teaching job because first, it's easy. Second, I think the work-life balance is really good. Like, I get to travel a lot because I have a lot of vacation when you're teaching. So usually you get like 1 month summer vacation, you have like a week or 2 weeks winter, and then you get autumn too. So I use all my vacation to visit different cities, around Japan.
That's great. Okay, so I wonder if we can talk a little bit about salary.
Okay.
Is teaching English in Japan a good job for making money?
I would say no. So like when I first came here, that was like 6 years ago. The base salary for English teacher, if you're in a dispatching company, would be like 215,000 yen. Not sure in dollars, you can convert it later.
Yeah.
But if you work for JET program, so like there's another, it's called JET program. So they have a bit higher salary than what we get. So it's, I would say it's not really like the best salary you could get in Japan. But it depends on your priorities. Like if your priority is to enjoy Japan, travel, then I think teaching English would be good. But if you really want to earn money or like career growth, if you're thinking of career growth, then I don't really recommend
Yeah, I think the salaries have been stagnant for quite a number of years, right? Like I don't think English teaching salaries have gone up in quite a while.
I think so. Yeah, if you're working under a dispatching company or like JET program, I don't think there is much of like increase for like within 6 years that I was here. But just a little bit, I think. Maybe like for some dispatching company, they have like a little bit of raise, but because the inflation also. So I don't think if it really makes like a difference or not.
Right. So I wonder, what's it like learning Japanese while you're teaching English?
I think people can make lots of excuses of why they cannot study Japanese. But if you're an assistant language teacher, then I think you have a lot of time, like a lot of free time after working hours. But if you're teaching in like a private school, or if you're like a main teacher at a school, I think they work more, like they have overtime hours, and so probably it will be difficult for them to study. But yeah, if you're assistant language teacher, you only work for 8 to 5, then I think you can really find time to study after working hours. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's all about how motivated you are, right?
Yeah. Personally, I kind of regret not studying or not putting effort in studying Japanese. So, like I've said, people have excuses, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And are you studying these days?
No. That's like a big no. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first moved to Japan, I just thought I would learn Japanese by osmosis. You know, I thought just walking around, I would just suddenly become fluent in Japanese, and that wasn't the case.
That's a myth.
Have you ever taught private lessons, or have you mainly stuck with schools?
Actually, I did. Funny thing is, one of my vice principal at school asked me personally, like, "Hey, do you teach like private lessons? Because like my daughter wants to study English," and I was like, "Oh, yeah, sure, why not?" And at that time, I thought it's like illegal, not really illegal, but
I don't think it's illegal.
it's like you have to ask permission from your company that you want to teach, I think, but not. I know a lot of teachers who do have like personal lessons and they don't really tell the company about it. So that was the start of my like, okay, I could actually teach during my personal private time. So I think that was really helpful, especially with the low teaching salary. So yeah, I use it for my travel funds.
Yeah, teaching private lessons, you set your own rate, right? So you can actually make quite a lot more money, I think, than teaching at an eikaiwa or a public school.
I think so. Like I lived in a small city, and even in a smaller city, I think the first rate I had was like 3,000 for 1 hour, and I think that's. If I get like 3 lessons in a week, then I think that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of extra spending money.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, so other than learning Japanese, if there are any foreigners watching this that are thinking of coming to Japan and teaching English, what kind of advice would you give them?
Just have an open heart and open mind. Like just expect something new every day, and don't get discouraged of little things. Like it depends on what kind of mindset you have once you like coming to Japan, and I think the mindset is what really sets everything to our like a good start. So just have Japanese language skills and open heart and open mind. Yeah.
That's great advice. Okay, thank you so much. I was really happy meeting you today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
こんにちは。皆さん、私の名前は Paula です。台湾出身です。日本に来て今も大体10年間になってます。この10年間の間に大体英語を教える仕事をやってます。今は大体2つの大学と1つの、高校の学校で教えてます。よろしくお願いします。
Thank you. So, I wonder if you could tell me why you decided to start teaching English in Japan.
Okay, I was teaching English in Taiwan for a few years, and later I went to Australia to study TESOL. And over there, I met my husband, who was Japanese, so we fell in love. That was why I am here. And then, yeah, it's not really like I want to be an English teacher in Japan. It's not like that kind of story. I just kind of have to come for love. Yeah.
Okay, great. And how did you find your first job teaching English?
Okay, my first job teaching English, if it's in Japan, in the beginning, I found it a little challenging, like not being able to speak any Japanese in the classroom and then with the teachers. But later, I was able to like communicate with them, and then through really basic like gestures, and then write down my message or write down the things on the board. And then later I found it really fun, rewarding, especially when you're engaging and then like interacting with a group of very energetic students. But they may not want to learn English. That's the difference. I think they may not want to like really learn English, but they all want to use English maybe as a tool to have fun. Yeah.
What are the pros and cons,
Pros and cons.
of teaching English in Japan?
I think one of the things about teaching English in Japan is it's not the highest payment like job, but compared to other Asian countries, I think Japan don't really pay as much. But especially at the beginning entry level, but once you build up the experience, you have those, you build up credentials and you have the experience, you will be slowly able to move up. So that's one of, I would say, pros and cons together. Yeah.
I'm also wondering, I have a couple of other friends that are Chinese American, and they said that they've actually had a bit of a difficult time finding students or finding jobs because people didn't want to hire them or be taught by them because they're Asian, and they think perhaps they're not going to get the authentic experience being taught by an Asian person. Have you found that at all?
Actually, in the beginning, I did. In my first couple of years, and then when in the countryside, and then I think some of the Eikaiwas, they did like reject me because of either my nationality, or they think that I don't have that typical like foreigner look. Yeah. But I think in the end, it really is up to your experience, like how like for example, after a few years teaching as an ALT in the countryside, I kind of proved enough that I'm capable of doing that, and then that will help with further like job opportunities. Yeah. But I do find that like difficult, like wearing a nation face, or like not being like a native speaker, and then so. But in the end, I sometimes would probably tell my students that, or tell my clients that, the reason why they should choose me is because I learned English. It's not really I pick up a language naturally. I learned it was through the same journey, so I'll be able to take that journey and then teach you how I got to this stage of English. Yeah.
So, have you ever taught private lessons? And if so, what are your experiences with doing that?
Oh, yeah. I actually taught some English classes privately. I taught some kids at home, actually. And then it was really fun. And I have to say, if you start, because once you start with 1 or 2 students, and you start to build up your reputation in the area, and people will start coming to you. Or sometimes I probably would get invited to some eikaiwa and teach some special lessons. And so it's actually really fun. Yeah, but sometimes you do have to you do have to make sure that you have enough classes, enough students. You have to always make sure you keep all your parents and the students satisfied. But that also comes to one thing. I think Japanese parents are not too demanding.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think teaching at an eikaiwa is kind of an easy route to go, but if you're going to teach private lessons, you have to kind of have a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit, right? Because
Yes,
you're your own boss, right?
Yeah, and also you need to be able to already have a setup, maybe a curriculum, maybe materials and ideas on how you would like to proceed with the teaching. Yeah, and then you probably want the student to see the result as well, or the parent to see the result. Yeah.
Right. What's the strangest or most memorable thing that you've experienced as an English teacher in Japan?
Oh, a student, during the lesson time, he was standing on the desk. And then he was using all the desks as a chessboard and walk across the room while the teacher was trying to teach. Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. Was he saying, "Oh, Captain, my Captain"?
What is that?
Oh, it's a line from Dead Poets Society where they stood on their desks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
A Robin Williams film.
All right.
He wasn't doing that?
No, he wasn't.
Okay, final question. For those people that are watching from abroad and they're thinking about moving to Japan and becoming an English teacher, and they don't really know that much about it yet, what advice would you give them?
Okay, I think one thing that a lot of people They what we want is actually maybe coming as a tourist visa, and then see if they can transition it to like a teaching, like a proper like work visa. In Japan, this is not allowed at all.
When I first came here, I had to show my bachelor degree, and before I even got a job, they had to see that, and then they gave me my visa. Is that similar to what happened with you?
I came in with a spouse visa.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So it's kind of different.
Okay, thank you so much. We hope that you enjoyed this.
Hey, bye.
私はマーシャル・ヒューズと申します。アメリカから来ます。日本には25年間住んだことがあります。よろしくお願いします。
So thank you for meeting me today. You've been in Japan for about 25 years, you said? I wonder if you could tell me what brought you to Japan in the first place?
Well, before Japan, I was a sports writer in Honolulu.
Really?
And I was finishing a master's degree, and somebody in my class came here on the JET program. And she told me about the JET program here. And so I thought I should come over and check it out.
Wow. And I wonder if you might just be able to tell our viewers what the JET program is all about.
It stands for Japan Exchange Teaching, I believe. It's a government program that brings people over from English-speaking countries. When I came over originally in 1990, it was Canada, U.S., England, and New Zealand, and Australia. But now there are people from probably 15 or 18 English-speaking countries.
Right, and it's still pretty prevalent today, right? The JET program is still bringing people over.
Yeah. When I first was here, it was mostly junior high and high school, but now there's a lot of elementary school JETs.
Right. Okay, so through 25 years of teaching, you must have an incredible amount of experience. I wonder if you could kind of briefly tell us what are some of the pros and cons of teaching English in Japan?
Well, there's a lot of pros. Some of it depends on where you are. People have different experiences, of course. The Tokyo experience was different than my experience because I started in the very rural areas. I was the only Western face in my city. My first year, there was a Nepalese, Fijian, Canadian woman, and a Hong Kong woman, and me, and I spoke zero Japanese. But I think it's great. I mean, the money's not great. It's not really a career per se, but I've kind of made a career out of it. You can't live like a king, but you can do enough, and I enjoy it here. I enjoy the culture and everything.
Yeah, right. I was going to get to the salary aspect of it. I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about the salary. Like, it has kind of gone down over the years, correct? Yeah. How do you manage that?
Well, I got a little bit lucky. Years ago, I invested in Apple stock.
Wow.
When they were basically giving it away. And that's done quite well, so I haven't really had to worry too much.
Oh, okay.
That's unusual.
Yeah. So if you want to teach English in Japan, first buy a stock that's going to skyrocket, and then just enjoy yourself from there, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much my plan, yeah.
Okay, so through 25 years of teaching here, I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about your experiences with the schools that you've taught at. Have they been eikaiwas or private schools or private lessons? What are your experiences like?
The last 10 years, I taught in a public junior high. Before that, and it was fairly good. Before that, I taught in junior high, high school, and university, actually. Some of the schools, most of the schools were good. The kids are great, but occasionally you have problem students or something with mental issues or something. It's that's a little bit hard there.
And what have some of your best experiences teaching English been, or like what is your favorite place to teach English?
I like junior high actually because there's a point to the lesson. I usually ask the teacher, "What have you been doing recently in class?" And then I'll make a game or activity or event or something based on that. When I taught in high school, a lot of it was just long, 10-page passages or something.
Right.
And it's hard to create something to reinforce that. So that was definitely harder. I've enjoyed the speech contests, actually. I really like to help the kids a lot, and they've done pretty well. A couple kids have, 3 of my kids won international trips for
Really?
speech contests, yeah.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Have you ever taught it in Eikaiwa or private lessons?
I teach private lessons now. I have 4 students.
Okay.
As far as an Eikaiwa, I did kind of under the table a couple times, but not as a full-time thing. I've always been in a school.
Right. Okay, I wonder if you could maybe give me any memories that you've had of any strange experiences that you've had while teaching English in Japan.
I was home one night. One of my former students came knocking at my door.
Oh.
And she came in and seemed kind of to be having problems, so I asked her what the matter was. And she was one of my junior high kids, but by this time she was 16, so a high school kid.
Okay.
And she said, "I'm having sex with my teacher." And
Oh.
I was a little bit taken aback.
Yeah.
And then she said, "But I stopped because he's having sex with all my friends."
Oh, wow.
So that was, Also, I've had, I think, almost 10 of my students have died over the years, either from suicide or a lot of them got hit on bicycles.
Oh, no. Was this in rural Japan?
Yeah, most of it was rural Japan. Ibaraki, I think, leads Japan in bicycle deaths every year.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's horrible. So, I'm just trying to wrap my head around both of those scenarios. So, in the first one, how did you react? And did you do anything about this other teacher that was sleeping with all of his students?
I thought a lot about what to do. And in the end, I decided to do nothing because if I had called the school or that city's Board of Education, it was a city probably half an hour, 45 minutes away. If I had called that city, they wouldn't have maybe believed me. And I conceivably could have gotten in trouble for saying that. I had no proof. I mean, perhaps she was lying. I don't know.
Right. And what was the reason for her coming to you? Was she just confiding in you about it, or did she want you to help her in some way?
She was just confiding. She was like my favorite student from my first job. So I knew her pretty well, and I knew her parents kind of too. She just showed up one night and let it out.
Wow. Yeah, and that's horrible about a bunch of your students dying. I can't really imagine what that must be like.
Yeah, I almost went to the funeral of one of them. I thought it would have caused more problems or uncomfort.
If someone's thinking about coming to Japan to teach English, what kind of advice would you give them?
Well, the JET program is the best way to get in.
It is.
I think it's much better than Eikai was, much better than anything else. If you can work for a city, that's also great, but those jobs are really hard to get from outside of Japan.
Right.
Those kind of jobs, you have to come here, work here for a while, and then get that job. College jobs are really difficult now to get. A lot of people have to work at 2 or 3 colleges to make ends meet. They don't hire full-time foreigners very much.
Right. Okay, great. So finally, what I would like to talk about is you've written a book about living in Japan, correct?
Yeah.
I wonder if you might explain a little bit about your book and why you wrote it.
It's called Rural Reflections, What 11 Years in Provincial Japan Taught Me. And I didn't write it to make money. I just wrote it to let my friends and people know the experience. And I used to be a writer, as I said. So it was a good experience. A lot of people have given me really positive comments. And it feels good to be an author, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if someone wanted to learn more about you and your life and wanted to read your book, how would they find it?
Okay, you can find it on Amazon under my name and Rural Reflections. It's also available on Kindle. It's not available in bookstores now. I think it's a great way to learn it's a little bit historical, actually, what Japan used to be like in rural areas. And I tried to sprinkle in historical events and a few things that people wouldn't know. So even people who have been here a long time, I think, can learn some things.
That's really interesting. Okay, so I'm going to post the link down in the description to find Marshall's book. And if you have any interest, then check it out. And thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I enjoyed it very much.
Okay, what did you think of that? I think all three interviewees showed a variety of experiences in Japan, and everyone's experience is going to be different. So theirs might be similar to what yours will be like, but maybe not. You just have to come here and give it a try yourself. So let me know what you think in the comments, and if you haven't yet, please hit subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much.